Welcome to Bible U. Today we're going to talk about weather and the Bible. Okay, before you click out of this, just give me a minute or two to catch your interest, because I get it. I get it that a title like Weather and the Bible sounds like something that will put you to sleep. However, there's something interesting, significant, and refreshing about how God will leverage the idea of weather as a powerful teaching tool. If you've read the Bible before, you may have noticed that especially in the Older Testament, God will often use the idea of rain or dew as signifying blessings. Now, for many of us, it may not mean that much, but a brief understanding of the geography of Israel should cause us to grasp why the original receivers of this message, the ones living in the Promised Land thousands of years ago, would totally understand what God was referring to. You see, most of Israel is mountainous, rising from the Mediterranean on the west side and sloping down to the Jordan Valley on the east side. Interestingly, between the spring rains ending in April and the fall rains beginning in October, nearly 6 months pass with predominantly blue skies, meaning they don't get hardly any rain during those months. By fall, most of the grass has withered, and the stored water supplies have dwindled. The land, the people, the livestock depended on the coming fall rains. When the rains returned, it was seen as a blessing from God. Some of us get this more than others. For many of you may live in a part of the country that when it rains, you shrug your shoulders and roll your eyes and think, again. But for anyone living in the desert, you recognize how the people of Israel viewed rain. My family moved to the desert area about 15 years ago, and my wife and I now find ourselves chasing storms just to see, to feel, to smell the rain. Why? Because month after month after month will go by without a drop falling from the sky. But when you feel the sky releasing moisture once again, you feel like a child on Christmas morning. But it wasn't just the rain for the ancient people of Israel. The dew was also essential for them. Okay, for all of you that grew up in the Phoenix area, you're going to have to Google what dew is. For those that don't live here, let me explain. There's so little moisture in the air in much of the Sonoran Desert in the Phoenix area that we don't even experience dew. That wet stuff people in the morning feel that comes down during the night. Back to Israel. It was during those dry summer months that the people of Israel moved from relying on rain to relying on the dew in the mornings to provide the little water they needed for the later crops and the fruit of the trees to mature. Again, the geography of Israel is needed to fully understand. Because they were in a mountainous area and near the Mediterranean Sea, a moist air would blow in from the sea during these summer months, literally soaking plants and trees at nights. Perhaps you remember in the book of Judges when Gideon wrings out a fleece that he left out at night. It displays the amount of water that could be provided simply by the dew. So this dew in the dry summer months and the rains of the spring and fall were critical for the survival of the land, for the survival of the animals, and the survival of the people. Now, with that in mind, listen to this verse. Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 2. Let my teaching fall on you like rain. Let my speech settle like dew. Let my words fall like rain on tender grass, like gentle showers on young plants. Imagine the people who lived in Israel reading that passage. Can you see them smiling as they could smell the life-giving rains? They could feel the life-giving rains. They could hear the life-giving rains falling in their imaginations as they read these words. Can you see them smile as they imagine the feel of the life-giving dew on their sandaled feet? Listen again to those words. Let my teaching fall on you like rain. Let my speech settle like dew. Let my words fall like rain on tender grass, like gentle showers on young plants. God takes this simple but important imagery of weather patterns and uses it to help his people understand the refreshment, the satisfaction in life that comes from his word. If you live where you actually experience dew, unlike those of us in Phoenix, next time you feel the cool, wet dew on your feet, would you pause and thank God for his provision, for the beauty and hope of his word to us? Next time the sky releases its moisture, especially if you live in a desert, would you pause for a moment and celebrate the sustenance our God provides? Would you pause and let that rain remind you of the sweet, hope-filled words God has for you and me?